to the cloud. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Friday, October 17th, 2025 public meeting of the Kansas City Land Bank's Acquisition, Disposition, and Construction Committee. My name is Mike. I serve as the meeting's moderator. We do ask that members of the public limit their comments to no more than 2 minutes per speaker. And with that, I turn this meeting over to the committee chair, Mr. Aaron Chilwich.
Hello, everybody. So we have a brief meeting today, hopefully. First thing is just Keystone updates. I'll let Kyle and Mike really take it away on the financing and marketing materials. So Kyle, you want to walk us through what you circulated earlier and where we're at?
Sure. Alrighty. This is the financing summary for Keystone. As you all should be aware, we've wrapped up the construction of all these homes and are marketing them for, well, we finished the marketing period and now we're going through the review period with Repco with all of our applicants. But the remaining costs you see here represent either savings or on our budget or closing costs and things of that nature that are associated with holding on to the homes before we sell them. But we will be submitting our last construction requisition of LBI funds shortly. So yeah, we're under budget, which is great to see, and hopefully have some funds that we can reallocate to other projects going forward. But yeah, happy to answer any questions about financing people may have. Not a ton new to report though.
Can I just correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, and I'm driving, so it's possible I'm misremembering. I can't look it up. I remember seeing it looked more small amount of funds that were still left, and I thought we had closed out that project. Is that just because those were used elsewhere, or am I misremembering the status of the ARPA grant?
I think you broke out there a little bit, but you're asking if we closed out ARPA. And so what we ended up doing was when we were spending down the LBI funds on this project, we ended up, the goal was to spend those down as fast as possible. We ended up having a little bit of a unspent ARPA balance that we couldn't apply to the Keystone project. So we took that 24,000 and we were able to apply it to the 46 grand demo. So that 24,000 balance is just, we're 24,000 short of what we budgeted for ARPA on this project, but we spent it on 46 grand demo. So we're fully zeroed out on ARPA funds.
Gotcha. That's yeah. Thank you, Kyle.
Yep. Cool.
Anybody else questions about this? It's great that we have some more money that we can put towards grant or new properties for the city or whatever else comes our way.
Yeah, there's no restrictions on where that can be spent, or it has to be, or like, can it be in the new development stuff too? Like, let's say the modular homes?
The modular homes, the budget is worked out with HCR, where we have designated amount of HCR funds, and then that's backstopped by LBI funds. I believe we can apply more LBI funds and probably our own funds if necessary to backstop that too. So yeah, it's good to have these funds as a backstop, but
okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So
on marketing updates, we wrapped up our marketing period at the beginning of October, and now the ball is in Repco's court to bring us qualified applicants based on the registrants. we got approximately 300 new registrants over the course of a month. So it was good to see that. And we've combined that with our existing registrant pool. So a lot of potential applicants, but we're going through the process of narrowing this down to qualified applicants. We had to cut down the list a substantial amount by people who fell outside of the demographic of household size and income ranges that we were looking for on this, but it kind of comes with the territory of trying to get as many people to apply as possible without, necessarily saying like, when I say apply now versus apply now if you are X, Y, and Z and all that stuff. So it's kind of a middle ground between, spreading the word and also, giving the entire, reach of the program. But it's good to know that there is significant demand for smaller household sizes, which we hope to satisfy with the modular home program going forward. So yeah, we had a lot of success. We were able to keep a lot of to get a lot of local responses, which is good to see. Yeah, but yeah, we had success with the social media consultant. We saw a big spike in Facebook and Instagram connections, clicks that led to our website, and also I think big winner was just the signage on site, Mike's banner work and the yard signs. Lots of people scanning the QR codes and going on the just stopping by and learning about the sites that way. So good to know and keep that in mind going forward. Yeah, but now we're in the process of finding out how many qualified applicants we have, working with Repco on that, and moving on to the lottery right before Thanksgiving.
Wow. Is 300 significantly, oh, I'm just going to ask, is 300 significantly more than we've gotten in the past? Because it sounds like a lot, like in other campaigns, or is that kind of on par with what we've gotten
Let
in
me
registration?
find our last campaign period. It was approximately.
Because that was also more homes, but Mike, I think you're muted. Baby.
It looks like the last time we had around, 150 new applicants.
That's amazing. That was very catchy marketing. That's great. Yeah, good job, Mike. The most affordable homes in Kingston. Great.
How you indicated, no, I think it is interesting. It's good, and it's like you said I think I maybe misheard you or broke out just a little bit because of my perception, but that it was mostly smaller household sizes that didn't qualify for the 3 bedrooms.
Yes, that was the major reason for people not qualifying. And then some people who were below or above the income range.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
And then some people who are below or above the income range.
Gotcha. I guess we can use that information moving forward, just if and as we have opportunities to do smaller household sizes, that the fact that there is so much demand for 1 and 2 bedrooms is, I don't know, it's, yeah, obviously we can't change the rehabs, but it's just worth noting, as we have opportunities to do other sizes, especially in the new construction stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So November 24th is the date. Go ahead. Sorry, Joanna.
No, it's fine. I just was curious about the people who've already registered from previous campaigns. Are they if their household may have changed the household size and things like that? Is that all updated, or did they reach out to them and update that, or is it just going off of what was registered the first time?
So sorry, Kyle, if you don't mind.
No, yeah, you have to.
We encourage everyone to reapply because like you said, Joanna, that data does change. So if you applied for a prior campaign, you reapply for a current campaign. RUPCO does verify everything, of course,
Okay.
and work with the full list. The other piece, just for awareness to add to what Kyle was saying, is that we're meeting with RUPCO on a regular basis to sort of work that funnel of 300 plus registrants down to X number of applicants and feel comfortable that it's moving in the right direction, but just wanted to say that we might come back as we have in the past with saying that we need more time to get to the right number of lottery participants for it to feel, equitable and fair, or have enough time put into it. So I do believe that the November 24th lottery is still on, but we're meeting with RUPCO again next Wednesday for more updates. And this sort of happens every campaign where we're getting closer and closer, but what's the right number? And right now we don't have, because the campaign has only ended a few days ago. We don't have a significant number of completed applications that meet our requirements, but the number's growing every day. So I just wanted to mention that as
No,
something.
that's great. But but in general, if they haven't re-registered, we wouldn't necessarily know that information isn't up to date
Correct, until they're
until
contacted by RUPCO.
it goes through that whole process. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Exciting. Hopefully.
We'll come back to it in a month, and hopefully then we can plan for the draw in November.
Yep.
Okay, so then the next agenda item is pre-development on the home project. Everything with Bill Lake and environmental and all the site plans. Kyle, yeah, I leave it to you to decide how you want to walk us through what's changed in the past month.
Sure. Mike, feel free to, jump in with any detail that
Go for it.
I'm kind of in the weeds on this stuff.
Okay.
But where we're at, we received, I'm not sure if we had done this under our last meeting, but we did receive environmental clearance, which we thought meant, we were done with everything that we needed to do in order to start site altering activities. However, there are a few more steps that we need to go through in order to begin actually doing work on the site, mainly falling under the design review area of, wrapping up our site plans, the building plans, and getting those to HCR for their review, at which point we can start altering the site, doing physical work on site. But we're also able to continue doing our pre-development work and our RFP process in the meantime. We've been meeting with architect teams, with Bill Lake, to finalize those plans, and we hope to have them wrapped up in the coming few weeks. And let me think. Is there anything else, Mike, major that's on?
Maybe just for awareness, Kyle and I had a good call with HCR staff and the program director at home this week to talk about some of the mechanics of the funding sources themselves. And they're still trying to figure it out, and we're still trying to figure it out. But it might be the case that because the home funds are given to us or funded to us on a reimbursable basis, that we could encounter a need for some cash flow planning as it relates to the 10 to 15% down payment requirements from the modular provider, for which we currently have unrestricted cash cover, but there might be interim progress payments that might exceed our ability to, I guess, come out of pocket for 30 to 45 days. Not an emerging issue, but I just wanted to flag it as a potential requiring some planning. And the program director had highlighted that most organizations go out and get a letter of credit for this, for which I was quick to confirm that the interest associated with the letter of credit is applicable as a project level expense. It wouldn't cost the land bank anything. The letter of credit might be coming for 1 month in which we expect to exceed a pretty significant amount of funding, possibly for progress payment to the modular provider. that was my interim update that I thought was interesting and kind of a change to the way that we've done it before, because we're generally paying in a more regular basis. We'll have to see what the modular divider wants. If that
Is it a
makes-
situation where you have to like prove that you've done the work for them to then pay you? Like, is it that kind of thing? And is there a lag time with that, or they're pretty responsive?
It's-
It's not.
Yes and yes, and they estimated that it would be 30 days lag time from completed
Just that.
application to reimbursement. And so the
That was
question was,
helpful.
yeah, and so the question in my mind was, okay, so they're not building, we pay down payment and then it gets built at the modular service provider's factory, and they're going most likely to ask for a payment in the middle. So are we all going to the modular factory to verify it's in place, or how does that work? And so they still need to think about that, and so do we, but that'd be a pretty big bill if they were building all 3 homes at once. And we had to wait 30 to 45 days. So it's not an issue necessarily, but it's just something that we are aware of now. And Kyle, Stacy, and I have been talking about a line of credit that we would start talking about on Monday.
And you said the interest on line of credit is or is not reimbursable?
Is
Reimbursable. Okay, great. Great.
Thanks.
Well, that's great. I think we should still, at some point when Kyle, you and Mike are ready, we should still plan a trip for whoever wants to go to Bill Lake's factory and see what it's like. That'd be fun.
totally.
Could rent a Sprinter van.
Exactly. Just pile in the board.
Like-
Just,
Pretty wear your t-shirt.
Yeah,
Bring
90
back
minutes.
part of the house with us.
exactly.
all right. Um, so I think that's it for home then, unless you guys have anything else. The last item on the agenda is this new program called Move in New York. I'll just say, I think, well, I'll say, Mike and Nate know this, and Kyle, I believe knows this now, and so Joanne, it's partially for you, but I am in my day job now helping to oversee this program, and so if the land bank decides to apply to it, it will be a conflict of interest, and I will recuse myself on both sides, both on the land bank side and on the and in the in my
Yeah,
my,
Collecting.
yeah. So I'll keep everybody informed at work. They already know that, everyone I work with knows that I'm on the board of the land bank. And so everyone knows that this conflict is potentially there. But I just want to be transparent about it, kind of in case it arises. And to be clear, I have no financial interest in the program. It is a government program. My role is purely administrative. But I guess I'll let Mike introduce what the program is and kind of his thinking about it. I'll just say that I'm torn about this one, about whether we should apply, but I'll let Mike introduce
You're
it.
torn because you would have to recuse yourself, or
No.
other reason?
I mean, I think if the land bank decided to apply and I had to recuse myself, that'd be great for the land bank. I don't, I'm torn because Mike, I'll let Mike explain what the program is. But it would mean taking some choices now that would limit some choices down the line.
I see.
Thank you. So the Move in New York newly announced program through HCR is a continuation of HCR's request for applications, I think last year, that we applied for under the cross-mod typology. This is the manufactured home construction type with a permanent foundation that qualifies for a 30-year mortgage through Fannie or Freddie, meaning it's an innovation allowing what would otherwise be a construction type that could not receive a 30-year mortgage to receive a 30-year mortgage. So the state of New York has leaned into it with I believe, $50 million, possibly more, possibly less, initiative to allow nonprofits and land banks and municipalities to apply for funding under this program. The funding would be utilized for site work and hard costs and foundation work, I guess that is site work, and modular construction, purchasing, and installation. So it's a lot of money. It's the first time that a significant funding source has been made available for affordable home ownership exclusively. does fall very much within the wheelhouse of what we are trying to do. There are some threshold limitations. However, they may turn out to be more flexible than what the document itself says. Specifically, an applicant must own and control at least 10 sites at the time of application. So we currently don't own or control 10 sites that we could put into this RFA, which is applications due mid-November and then on a rolling basis. However, looking at the pipeline of properties that we potentially could be receiving opportunities to purchase under Article 19A or Article 11 through the city of Kingston, we might get close to that number. So this to say at this point, it's an amazing initiative. The public info session that Kyle and I attended was wildly subscribed by folks from all over the state, recognizing it's a great new program. I guess we'd like to keep this committee and the board apprised of opportunities to possibly participate, but right now we're just looking at it.
And what are the limitations that Aaron was hinting at?
Oh, the limitation that I was hinting at before was slightly different. It was that if you know, and what Mike is saying about the Article 11 properties is news to me, but if we had to if the only property we have where we could feasibly fit this many, you know, homes would be Third Avenue, and
Right, yeah.
on the one hand, you know, even if we could get through the planning hurdles, because theoretically the planning department would look at, like, you're not allowed to like take a 3-acre parcel that has to go through one kind of review and then develop it piece by piece such that you avoid that review. But even if we could get through the planning thresholds and hurdles, you know, I can see it both ways. On the one hand, you could, you know, do 10, 12 homes now quickly. On the other hand, you know, you can only develop this land once, and we have to think about, right, like the families that will live in these homes for decades. And so, you know, doing 10, 12 homes now means that we can't do significantly more homes than that, you know, down the line. And so it's a trade-off, and I think, and it is just a trade-off that I think different people could view different ways, and it is very, you know, I again, I'm torn about it. But I will just add that, and this isn't public information, that this is the first phase of the program that is intended to emphasize to create bulk purchases, so 10 or more homes per applicant or per awardee, and there are anticipated to be later phases of the program. So it's not the first and last time.
So
Thanks, Aaron.
I have to jump for another call in a minute, but I just wanted to ask, is there any harm, like if we send in an application for this program, are we locked into it, or is it worth at least like applying for it, and then we can, you know, weigh all the options later and we can always back out?
I'm always a fan of the development model instinctually, where it's like a sample sale at Macy's, where you run into the middle of the room and grab everything and then run into the corner and see what you got.
Yeah. There's a lot of
However,
work, though.
sorry?
That's going to be a lot of work, though, I imagine, too.
It would be, but that's, you know, throwing stuff at the wall is usually, you know, how things come into focus. The piece that would be difficult in my mind to climb down from would be the Common Council resolution. It's also a requirement for the application. And so we would have a Common Council resolution in support of cross-mod. I think generally as a typology, I don't think it's too far into the weeds to say this specific site and this thing. So I don't know, Nate, what that would look like if we were to say we're doing this, or at least we're applying to you to be considered to do this, and then they were to say, okay, go do it. And then we were to say, well, you know, I don't know how that might look, but we could ask, certainly. Like Aaron said, it's a new program, and so maybe folks are trying to figure it out. I'm sure they are.
And it's a rolling deadline, so there's no starting in November.
Correct.
Okay.
One of the other pieces that may or may not be a hard and fast rule in the program is that upon award, you have to be able to put the homes on the site within 5 months. I think was another piece that jumped out for me as a limiting factor. just to throw stuff out there as elements that could be commitments that we might be making by applying that would be difficult to change later, but we should certainly ask. If you like, Nate, be happy to.
I
pose
don't
a
have a
question.
preference one way or the other. I was curious.
Totally.
So anyway, sorry, I have to drop for another call, but thanks guys.
Good to see you, Nate.
Good to see you too. Bye.
Okay. Well, I guess my question, which you've answered many times, it's separate from this in a way, but like, as far as like, we don't have any more, vacant homes to remodel at this particular moment.
Not right now.
And what is limiting our ability to get more homes? I know you've explained this, but I just
No,
to hear it one more time, and maybe Aaron too could check.
I probably say it to Kyle and Aaron too often. Like I'm not always sure, Joanna, because we do have funding from LBI that we could use to acquire private property. We do currently have the ability to, show that we can rehab and sell homes at an affordable price that has huge interest, like Kyle was talking about. I think the limiting factor has to do with the amount that we would have to pay for the homes.
Right,
So
like was there a freeze, and that's no longer there? The free, like you said, there was a freeze on them releasing on the
19A and the Article
Yeah.
11 properties. It's going through the process now for both 19A and Article 11 at the municipal level, and Article 11 properties would require someone to pay the county treasurer the fair market value of the property. So it wouldn't be $1 as it has been in the past. And so we're trying to figure out potential solutions to that, quite frankly, with the land bank not paying that amount, because we wouldn't be able to buy too many homes at fair market value before we were out of money. 19A does not need to go through that process, so I remain hopeful that might be our pathway to continue rehabs by virtue of not having to pay that much upfront.
But there aren't any of those homes available, is that?
They're not available, and just for the purposes of public meeting recording things, I'll just say that the judicial ruling deadline back to the city of Kingston for the first 19A property to go through this process has passed by quite some time. Okay. And so in speaking with municipal officials this morning, they had said it might show up tomorrow, might show up a month from now.
Okay.
So we just have to be, I think, flexible and responsive to when they tell us that they have something, and we would have 90 days to evaluate that opportunity just for awareness. So it wouldn't be something that we'd have to immediately commit to. We would have time to do due diligence. I expect that there will be a pipeline of properties coming through the city's disposition policy. I just don't know when it will start.
Okay, that's great. That's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. But I look at Zillow all the time, as I think to Kyle and Aaron, and possibly yourself. We're all looking, but it's easier to wait, unfortunately. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Anything else for today? If not, then I wish you all a merry weekend.
Enjoy. Bye.
Thank you. You too.
Talk to you all soon. Bye.
Yeah.